Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Walking Dead series by The Verdict's In. I'm your host, Nicole.
I'm Gary.
And today we're talking about The Walking Dead, Dead City, Season 1, Episode 6, entitled Doma, which means we are home in Croatian. Gary, what did you think about this season finale?
I think I was right. I told you at the end, Negan was going to be there and everyone else was going to be gone. It didn't happen how I thought it was going to happen. I thought Negan was going to embrace it a little more.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's still time. We never know. Next season, he may be full Negan.
Maybe. I liked your idea. Like, it would have been cool to see Negan back with the scarf and the jacket and the
right.
Lucille, his new Lucille, or them handing him a new Lucille.
Yeah.
Especially when the Croat was talking about it. Like, oh, yeah, when you gave it to me. I'm like, this is perfect. Like, this was a missed opportunity.
It was.
Of him not having the new Lucille, but
yeah, but it was a solid episode.
It was okay.
They didn't go too far over the top, and they just kept it safe.
Yeah,
it was a safe episode.
Yeah, it was. All right, well, we'll get into likes and dislikes. Even though last week we started off with dislikes since I had so many, but I actually do have more likes than dislikes this week. So first one is Negan telling Maggie, no matter how many times he apologizes, no matter what he tries to show her, she will never forgive him, as she shouldn't. And I really liked him finally realizing, like, it doesn't matter that you change. You still hurt her, and it doesn't matter that you yourself change. What's done is done. Like, you might be able to look better in your wife's eyes or people's eyes that are just now meeting you, but she'll never see you differently.
And we had this conversation probably the second or third.
Yeah.
That people need to stop waiting for forgiveness. Once you ask for forgiveness, your next step is to forgive yourself. Yeah. Because you'll wait a lifetime and a day waiting for someone to forgive you.
Yeah. I hear that like a lot. I'm on Reddit a lot, and I'll see people tell their story of how maybe they were addicted to drugs or alcohol or something, and now it's years later and they're clean, and maybe they hurt members of their family by stealing from them or whatever, and now that they're better, they're like, my family still doesn't want to fuck with me. And,
right.
And it's like, I'm glad you're better. And it's unfortunately that it's unfortunate they won't want to forgive you. But you have to understand, now that you change, you can't expect them to forget everything that you put them through during that time. So you've asked for the forgiveness. You're a better person. You just now at this point need to move on and realize that relationship is done. And I think that's what Negan realized this episode, even though who knows, by the end of it, I'm not sure with, Herschel's toe and everything, but we'll see where that goes. Negan asking Maggie to look after Jenny. He's like, that's all I ask. Like, I don't want anything else from you. Just take care of her. And I thought it was sweet.
Yeah. It was all right.
All right. Long pause. I
I don't know what to say about that part.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it was sweet.
Yeah.
It was sweet.
All right. Herschel saying, all we did back home is wait for the next bad thing to happen. And I really like that because it's like, if you're living constantly in fear and just like saying, okay, what's next? We got to be ready. Like, it's, of course, be ready, but you can't live in fear. That's not living. And clearly Herschel has grown up that way of always just living in fear.
Right. And unfortunately for him, that's just how the world is now. I understand that no one wants to sit around and say, okay, we got past this part. What's next? And in fact, I mean, he's too young to even know anything. He was being a typical teenager, ungrateful, just straight ungrateful.
Yeah.
Didn't appreciate the protection his mother gave him. And he probably won't realize that until you get older or older enough to have to protect someone of it on his own.
Yeah, maybe his own child.
Right. Because that's life in general. It's zombie apocalypse or regular times. Right now, I mean, we're not waiting for the next bad thing to happen, but we're preparing for things not to happen.
Yes.
So life is a constantly preparing.
Yeah.
Preparing yourself for the not the inevitable, but just preparing yourself
for what could happen.
So things can't go wrong. Like, I mean, we stock up our food, have rice and stuff just in case. I mean, anything
goes
happens.
bad. Yeah.
Goes bad. Power goes out. Anything. You have to be prepared for it.
Right.
And it's unfortunate, like I said, that he grew up in this environment. But I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter where he grew up at, what environment he grew up in. A teen is going to teen.
Yeah. I thought of it more like with, you tell kids, you warn them stranger danger, you warn, there's all types of warnings. If you're going to the pool, hey, be careful. When the kids start driving, hey, you got to be careful. It's not living in fear. It's just preparing them for their world that they're in. And I feel like that's what all Maggie did. Now, when we were watching, you asked, should Maggie let him go? Like, is this at this point, is this relationship severed? I mean, I know he's still a child, but it's very different.
That's her son, so the relationship is not severed. But like we keep mentioning, these are different times. So should you have to, or I think they're still doing what they did before the apocalypse. They're raising their kids to 18, and then they're sending them off to another community that's a part of their little triangle. How they did with like the ocean side and Hill, like that.
Right.
But these are different times. Should you be required to do that now? Because when a kid's grown in the zombie apocalypse, or they feel like they're grown, they're a liability.
Yes.
Like he was a liability.
Yeah, he's a liability.
So when in this world do you let your kids go?
Right.
Or do they continue being a liability to you? And like last podcast, I said that couples are a liability.
Yeah. Like
a whole family. If you get with a whole family in a zombie apocalypse, let's say you're a family of 2 and you get with a family of 4, y'all really shit out of luck.
yeah, you are. If something goes down, you know what they're gonna do to make sure their protected. Own is protected.
Right? Yeah, we're alliance, but you know who we're protected first. So there should be a time that in this zombie apocalypse that hey, you're a liability, or you think you're grown, go out there and just discover the world.
Yeah. And Rick not necessarily did that with Carl, but there was a time where eventually Rick had to give Carl a gun because he saw Carl was going to get a gun on his own. He was going to do what he was going to do. And I thought of Maggie and Herschel's situation sort of, but not really same, but World War Z? No. World of the Wars, whatever, the one with Tom Cruise. World of the Wars or War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds.
Yeah, one of them. And remember, he had 2 kids. He had a teenage son and a little girl. And eventually the teenage son's like, no, we should go do this. We should go do this. And he had to say, like, I can't stop him. Yes, you're under 18. You're still a minor. But he had to know, I have to let him go and do his thing because I still have a younger child to protect. And I kind of feel like that. And Maggie doesn't have another child to protect. But if Herschel feels like he's grown, he's not going to listen to her. And in effect, he can end up becoming a danger to her. Like, that's how I thought the season was going to end. When it showed her looking at the pictures, I was like, oh shit, is Herschel a plant now? Like, did they send him back and he's like a spy? Like, I didn't trust him at the end. I really didn't. And I'm like, I'm not looking at him as a kid anymore. I'm looking at him like he could be a danger.
He could be, yeah.
And then I also liked Herschel saying that Maggie's obsessed with Negan and, she can't let it go. She can't see past him.
I didn't like him saying that, but I can understand why he said that, especially during when it was time to trade him off, the handoff. Negan go with them, he come with us. You saw how long it took her to let Negan go. And he could have interpreted it another way, like, damn, she thinking about keeping him and killing him, or she's thinking about killing him right now. She won't even release him for her son. But we know that Maggie was having second thoughts, like, damn, me and Negan could have worked together. We could have got my son and just killed all these bastards.
Right.
We would have been great together. But a child or someone looking in, they don't understand that. They're looking at you like, okay, when are we going to make this trade? I'm right here. Let him go. Remember, Negan had to take Maggie's arm and push it down from his neck and walk in there on his own. Yeah. So, looking at it from a kid's point of view, you're like, damn.
She hesitated rescuing me.
Did you want to kill him that bad?
That you were willing to almost give me up.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. And I don't know. I can't imagine hating someone for that long with that much passion in it.
I can.
No, but it's like either in this world their world, like the Walking Dead world, either you kill them or move on, because I just can't see letting someone consume me that much with that much hatred. Like, it would be just too much to have somebody else that I hate on my mind all the time.
Unfortunately, this is a lot of people's case.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people reality that they let people live in their head rent free.
Rent free, yeah.
And I mean, if I've done it.
I see it a lot on social media, especially with celebrities, and people are like adding the celebrity that they hate, and I'm like, if you don't like weird. This celebrity, why are you even like? I don't even think of a celebrity that I don't like. If I don't like them, I don't even think of them. But there's people writing them and everything.
Right. Well, this is a crazier one. When you see a post giving a celebrity props, and then somebody get on there and say, "Who is this?" Or I don't listen to their music. First of all, you know who the fuck this is.
Right.
Otherwise, you would have kept it moving.
Yep.
And why did you stop to say I don't listen to this person? Just don't listen to that person. Don't listen to that person in peace.
Just
keep
move
moving.
on. Yeah.
Like, this is for fans only.
Yeah. So, I see stuff on like the K-pop groups all the time, and I don't listen to them, but I never even stop to think to write about, hey, I don't listen to them, or why are they so popular? I just don't care. Like, I'm not a fan. I have no issue. But it's weird when people hate and they go after the people they don't like.
Yeah,
it's weird.
K-pop has some good music.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, when our son was smaller, he loved the group BTS. He loved BTS, so I knew a few of their songs back in the day.
Yeah.
He won't admit it to now. I'm pretty sure at age 15 he won't admit being a BTS fan at age 12. All right. Next is Maggie giving Jenny back her dinosaur, so she did not burn it, which it was like so dramatic. It goes back to that moment where she was about to burn it. So dramatic for not to burn it.
Well, we found out earlier that she didn't burn it. We found out, I think it was last episode when she opened up her bag and it was there.
Oh, okay, it was there?
Yes.
Is that the same episode when she saw the... No. I was going to say, was that when she saw the beeswax? And...
Yeah.
Okay.
Same episode.
And then the Doma saying, God, he's like a sponge, talking about the Croat. And I thought she was going to ask Negan to prove himself by killing the Croat.
Oh, I knew she wasn't going to do that.
Okay. Because the way she disrespected him when he came in, he's like, this is... She's like, thank you. And then he's like, okay. He stumbled. He's like, okay, well, let's get started. She's like, no, I think I want to just talk to Negan. Like, she pushed him aside. I thought she was going to ask him that.
Yeah, she needs to Croat. Because keeping or not going to do anything to Herschel is Herschel Jr. No, it's not Junior, but just Herschel.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just not enough to hold somebody. Yeah, it's going to make him do what you want for a period of time, but you're going to need protection from that person you put in power.
Yeah, I don't get with her keeping the toe. It's like, did Herschel tell Maggie? Is Maggie aware that his toe is missing? And then how long was he there? Because in the clip that showed him real quick with his toe, I'm like, it looked healed, like completely healed.
Well, yeah, he had to be there for a while.
For months then.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay.
Because remember, she had to find Negan first.
And then it makes it even more disrespectful to what Herschel said to her. Like, if anything, I felt more safe there. Like, you felt more safe where they literally cut off your toe?
Yeah, that was weird.
Come on, man. That's what made me not trust Herschel, because an angry teen can be very dangerous. Look at all these shootings and
very dangerous.
They can be very dangerous. If they're that mad, they're not having control over their feelings, their emotions. They'll do something stupid and maybe regret it later, and maybe not. But they can be dangerous. And I don't trust Herschel at this point. I really don't.
I agree.
All right, let's get to the dislikes. Now, before we get started, though, we are watching right now, and we didn't go back to the old episodes, but when Croat once again gave his speech about how he found out about Negan, this sanctuary, he went over the whole, like, gave us that little rundown of the story again, and this time he's like, Jerome. And I was like, wait, Gary, remember we went back and forth a few pods ago, and I was like, no, it was Jermaine, and you're like, nah, he said Jerome. I was like, Gary, even today, I was like, okay, I heard Jerome, but I'm like, I swear I want to go back to those old episodes. I'm like, how did I think of Michael Jackson if he said Jerome? I like, unless my brain just still heard Jermaine, but like, I want to go back because I feel like they fucked up, but I guess I'm in denial because you're like, nah, they said Jerome both times.
Right. I mean, we wouldn't have had that debate about Jerome and Jermaine if they didn't say Jerome.
I'm in denial. I'm like still now because I heard Jerome this time, but I'm like, last time I swear he said Jermaine. Because I was like, well, how did I get Michael Jackson? Where did I think that from?
I can't see nobody named Jermaine in the zombie apocalypse.
What, a Jerome? How's there a Jerome?
I can see a Jerome surviving.
And they need to stop talking about this damn Jerome. We still, either way, Jerome or Jermaine, we still never met either of that character. Like, never once. We never met, I don't remember a character that
I
name.
believe him. He spoke about him twice.
Yeah, it might be. We have to go back to like a season 6 or something. You might see that name pop up real quick, and they had to, dig deep.
But you know what? Mm-hmm. That was a like. That should have been on the likes. That little spill he gave Negan, or the memory. That's the memory he gave. That was a good memory. It was a good callback also to the Oceanside.
I don't know if I liked it as a callback to Oceanside, because Oceanside makes such a big deal about how they came in and they killed all the men. And remember when Cindy and them, they start killing off the saviors? That was like really cool back in the day. And they killed the saviors. Like, remember he killed my brother right in front of me, and like kind of even said, like, made it not like, was taunting her. I think Cindy taunting her about it. And his story had nothing, it did not match. Not saying that they both couldn't have happened, but with Oceanside telling us all of this stuff about how they killed all the men, it seems like Croat would have talked about like, and then after, like, it would have been better if he said, after I killed that guy, like, and then we killed all the men. That was genius. Like, I would have liked that.
But they didn't say they just came in and automatically killed all the men. So this made perfectly good sense that, they came in, they told them what they wanted, gave them an option, they left. Came back, they still wasn't on board, so they made an example. I mean, this is the same thing they did to Glenn.
Oh, Glenn, yeah.
Yeah. And what's the other guy's name? And I hate that I can't remember his
name.
Abraham, because Abraham plays such a crucial part of this in this series.
Yeah.
But like Glenn Abraham. So it's a believable story. Now, maybe Oceanside thought later on, like, hey, we need to fight next time they come. And after a while, after the Savior saw that, damn, we're going to have to fight these guys every time we come here. Let's just go ahead and eliminate them and keep getting what we're going to get from the women.
I get that. And I'm not saying both stories couldn't have happened. But given the fact that they've been so big on bringing stuff in from the original show, and we already heard the original show about them killing all the men, it would have just been a perfect time for here to Croat, like, remind us of, like, and then we killed all the men. Like, to me, that would have been a better story.
I love this story, and I love that it came from the Croat, because we know that, they started with Oceanside. They went to they started with the Kingdom, then Oceanside. But it makes sense, because the Croat wasn't there long. So he might not have been there for the second time. Okay. Or third time, whenever they killed the men.
Yeah.
So he's only telling his part of the story, the beginning. Like he told his part of the story with the Kingdom.
All right. I can accept that. All right. Dislike. When Negan stopped Jenny, like, finally she talks. She's finally speaking. And she starts to talk. And he's just too mad that now she's talking. He's like, stops her. But then, like, 5 minutes later, goes to Maggie, like, so, what do you think she was going to say? Well, if you didn't stop her, we would have heard what she was going to say.
Yo, I hate to stop the shows.
Yes, they do. And I'm reading a book, and they did it in a book, too. And I'm like, person's about to tell him something, now afterwards, something happened, cut to, and he's like, oh, man, I wish I didn't stop him. I'm like, come on, y'all do that every time.
I mean, this is so cliche.
Very cliche.
I think they need to kind of, when they're in these writing rooms, when they get to these cliche parts, kind of remove them and see what they can put in the place of it.
Yes. Like, okay, have some blocks where it's like, okay, that's a cliche. We have it in place right now, but we know we're going to change it later. Right. Let's just see what else we can come up with after we write the whole episode. Yeah.
Yeah. But did you see the look on Maggie's face?
Maggie was scared. She's like, oh, shit. She's about to snitch on me. And I'm mad Jenny didn't snitch on her. Okay. This is my next dislike. Because I was about to say it, but this is the next dislike. When Negan was like, the Croat took your kid, but not your grain. He wants me. And the reason why I didn't like it is because this whole grain shit, like, I swear, I don't even remember the grain being a thing. I mean, maybe Maggie did say it when she first met Negan, but the only thing I remembered from the beginning of the series is that Herschel. I didn't even think about anything else. So now it's like all of a sudden they talked about the grain last week, and now the grain's brought up again this week. And I'm like, why are we like harping on this one little detail? Like, he took the kid, and Negan, and I will agree with Negan, he was right. There was no reason for Maggie to add anything additional. Like, is someone taking your kid not enough big a deal? Big enough story?
Yeah, it was no reason. No reason at all. In fact, we had someone write in on our Facebook page about it. Is that what you're looking for?
No, I start looking to see who played Jerome on The Walking Dead. I'm like, I gotta know. I just gotta know. And when I Googled it, it does show a Jerome from the Walking Dead comic book, but I can't really tell if there was a Jerome in the Walking Dead series in the show.
But I was having this conversation online with a Lauren Carson, and Lauren asked that question. She said, why did Maggie just lie? And I think Maggie lied to make it more believable to Negan. She knows how Negan came when he ran up on a hilltop. Were they at the hilltop? No, there was Alexandria. Mm-hmm. So she know how Negan came with Alexandria. The whistles in the woods and everything. And so this will be more believable to Negan. I don't think she was too sure that Negan would come along if she said, hey, one of your old friends, the Croat, said, hey, I'm going to exchange you. He's going to take my son, and he's not going to get my son back unless I bring you. Although we know that Negan would have came, because Negan is just on a do the right thing type of tour right now.
Yeah. But
she didn't know that.
Yeah, I agree. It was a lie that wasn't needed. That's where I'm thinking, at least. It was like a lie that was an unnecessary lie.
I think most lies are unnecessary.
Yes. Why did you?
but
most lies are unnecessary, yeah.
But, people tell them because, hey, you might get a different result for telling a lie rather than tell the truth.
True.
But I do believe if she knew that she was taking Negan back so Negan could sit back on the throne, she would have never did it.
Oh, yeah. But you know what? I also think her going back to the same spot, like, knowing, like, why go back to their home if they were able to somehow take Herschel once? And I know you kind of mentioned, like, they didn't take Herschel from the home. They took him out in the, in the field or outside. Either way, why go back to the same spot where they know you are?
Well, actually, I was wrong about that. Mm-hmm. And that was another conversation I had from Elma. They did go inside because there was a flashback in maybe the second episode. It could have been the first episode where she told him to hide. And they were inside the little compound. Okay. So the Croat knew where she was.
Okay, then that makes it even more like, right. Why go back to the, like, I don't know. I mean, I know you can't just pick up and move, but in the zombie apocalypse, I would pick up and move. If someone already came to my home and kidnapped my kid and I got him back, I'm not going back to that same home.
I think right now she's planning to eliminate the threat.
Okay, well, I don't know. Those people there didn't seem like fighters. We didn't see anyone that we recognized from our team. There's no Jerry, there's no one there, Kingdom, Ezekiel, there's no one that we recognize there. So I'm like, are there fighters there, or these people are just like loving and want to just live peacefully, which is no problem. But if they don't have fighters there, then she's better off going somewhere else, not going back to where they know she is. Yeah,
I feel you.
And then my last dislike is Herschel's attitude after being rescued. I know we kind of talked about some of the things he said as a like, but I really didn't like his attitude. It was just like, you're too much, Herschel. You're doing too much. Glenn would never.
That's what I was saying. He's being a typical teen. That ungrateful for the situation, but I do understand them. Like I mentioned, Maggie took forever to let Negan go. I would probably be upset too. Yeah. Especially if I didn't understand the situation. If I didn't understand that she was having doubts. If I thought like, damn, she'd rather keep him and kill him than... Yeah.
He misread her hesitation.
He misread it.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into some listener letters. We are going to discuss some feedback that's come in throughout the season. So we do have one from Chantel, and I believe it's back from episode 1. Hey, Chantel. Hey, friend of the show.
Hey, Chantel.
Also known as our third host on occasion. All right, so here she goes. She goes, Maggie. And this is, I believe, after episode 1. She goes, first of all, Maggie looks fantastic. I have always thought Lauren Cohan was beautiful, but there's a specific kind of beauty in the dark grit that she's displaying in this episode and is really arresting. And she is a fighter. I love the boot shank. Okay, actually, let's stop here for a second. Because with her talking about she's a fighter, and we all love that boot shank. It just reminded me of this episode. And I don't know how neither of us brought it up. was the fight
how
with Maggie.
Did we miss the fight?
Yeah, Maggie and Negan. What the hell? We watched after show. We're like, where did that fight come from?
Where did it come from? Like, where did it click in his head that they didn't take the grain? You brought me here. You set me up. And now we got to fight.
And the fighting was just too perfectly choreographed. Like when finally Negan pushes her down, I'm like, yes. And then she lands perfectly on that little mat.
On the little mat on the trampoline.
I'm like, oh my God, the trampoline. I'm like, what the fuck? This fight is now too perfectly, like, I want to see someone really fall, and like maybe a busted, like no one was bleeding after all those fights. Like, Negan literally got stabbed in the chest, and now he's literally having a drink with the lady at the end. Like, right. What the hell? that fight was crazy.
That fight didn't make any sense. And we did watch the after show, and was that the creator?
I think the executive producer.
Yeah, said that this is the fight we all been waiting for.
Yeah, it was like cut to, because we're like, maybe we misunderstood, so maybe he'll explain why they're fighting. But he didn't. He just goes, and this is the fight we all been waiting for. I'm like, wait, you didn't explain why they're fighting.
I said, no, this ain't.
Yeah, this is not the.
This is
no
not
one's
the fight
been waiting for this
we
fight.
Waiting for.
I mean, I just assumed, not being like sexist or anything like that, but I assumed if Maggie and Negan got in a fight, like, it seemed we've seen Negan, and yes, we've seen Maggie too, but it seems like Negan would have easily been able to overtake Maggie.
Yeah, that wasn't a fight we were waiting on.
Yeah,
that was an unnecessary fight.
Unnecessary. And she goes, "Did you guys notice that she went back and grabbed her hat off the bar before running away? It was like Glenn ran back for Rick's hat in season 1 when he was trying to retrieve the gun in Atlanta."
Yeah,
I do remember that, but I don't know. There's small things in the zombie apocalypse, like, going back for a hat just sounds stupid at this point. Like, even at the end with Maggie, she had like a necklace on. I'm like, what the fuck she had this necklace on for? Like, that's just someone can easily grab, like, that's a weapon someone can use against you. They can grab you by that and choke you. So I'm just thinking all these extra accessories and going back for shit. Like, I mean, I know stuff has meaning, and I'm not trying to be like, forget everything because it's zombie apocalypse, but like, yeah, you shouldn't be almost dying for a hat or almost dying for like a dinosaur stuffed animal. I understand the sentimental value, but
she was talking about, it wasn't during, it was after a fight scene, but this is when she was chasing Negan. So before she ran after Negan and Jenny, she grabbed her hat off the bar.
Yeah. I mean, okay. That's understandable. It's not like she was in a I'm about to die situation. But,
right.
But where was this hat the rest of the season? It is really heartbreaking. This is Chantel continuing. She's like, it's really heartbreaking and very realistic that Maggie is still haunted by Glenn's death. Yes, it is. At first, I was annoyed by her behavior toward Negan because she seemed to squash all of that in the main show's finale. It didn't quite seem to track for me. But having your child taken by someone formerly connected to the man who killed her husband would be pretty traumatizing and would definitely trigger flashbacks.
Yeah. I agree.
I was surprised that they showed Glenn's murder like that, though. That scene is part of the reason why they lost quite a few viewers after the season 7 premiere. They took a big risk by showing it this time, but I think it was effective. It was a great device for the writers to let us know that in this universe, no one has forgotten what Negan has done. The writers haven't forgotten what he has done. He isn't pure. He isn't redeemed. Not fully. I wonder if he ever will be. I mean, how could he really be? It definitely put me right back in the headspace of side-eyeing the fuck out of Negan again. Not that I ever stopped, but I was all right up again for sure.
Yeah, but what I was saying about Negan is he doesn't need Maggie to forgive him. Negan needs to stop trying to look for forgiveness. He needs to stop trying to help people. Like he told Jenny, go.
Yeah, the executive producer, he discussed it, so he made it sound like it was true. Like Negan finally told her something that would make her not want to forgive him.
Yeah, but he didn't say if the act was true. He just said that Negan told something.
Him, yeah. I actually kind of liked it when Negan was like, yo, you were just, damn it, I didn't write it down what he said, but he was like, you were just a debt I had to pay or something like that.
Right.
I'm like, that was exactly good.
What he said.
Yeah, I liked that, but.
So he need to stop paying debts.
Yeah. You're right.
They become liabilities.
Yeah. All right, then she has Negan. JDM has age. He needs to eat a steak and a little bit of meat on his bones. I swear his legs are skinnier than Lauren Cohen's. LOL. And then she goes, where the hell are Annie and the kid? We now know where they are.
Yeah. But you know what? I prefer this. someone getting skinnier during the apocalypse.
Yes.
Yeah, we done seen too many shows being a zombie apocalypse or supposed to be in some kind of apocalypse. And the person just, not losing any weight, gaining weight. And you're like, hold up, I thought there was a shortage of food.
Yeah, yeah.
This is not looking realistic.
They sort of hit on that on Lost because of Perlie. And then I think season 4, he did lose a lot of weight in real life. But I believe by that point, they were, spoiler, off the island. Season 4, season 5. But yeah, they did talk about it. And Perlie was like, yeah, I know. I'm not losing any weight. Like, his character had to address it, like, real quick on a one-off. So,
okay.
I love Perlie. All right. And she goes, where the hell are Annie and the kid? We found where they are. And I swear it's like they don't even exist. Like, what was the whole point of having Annie and the kid? Well, I guess because that's what led Negan to being chased down, is by killing someone that killed his, that hurt his wife. But it's unfortunate because I liked her character. And I don't know how, I would have just preferred her to see him at least once and Negan sending him off. But it sounds like he hasn't seen them in years at this point. And then she goes, do you think about all the men that Negan killed? He killed because they did something to Annie and the kid? Yes. So she's asking yes. That's exactly what happened. And Negan did mention to Maggie that the wanted poster wasn't for what she thought, that things didn't go down the way they are being portrayed. While I will always side-eye him, I can't help but believe him because he hasn't acted out all season 7 and 8 Negan in a long time. I don't think he would revert to that kind of psycho behavior again, right? Gary's hoping season 2.
Well, we know he is. He has no choice now.
Yeah. Not really. I still don't feel like that threat of her saying, I'm going to go after the kid if you don't do what I say. Like, he could have easily killed her right then and there. And he could have killed a few more before, he probably would have got taken down. But I just didn't even see that as the threat as that she made it.
I mean, that was a pretty good threat. I mean, she knew that he came there to save the boy.
True.
And we know he don't want to die because he said he still have hope that his family's still alive.
That's true. Okay. And she says, well, I'll never forgive him for killing Abe and Glenn all willy-nilly. I don't believe that he is like that anymore. So what is the damn story? Well, Chantel, the damn story is he sent them off because he's being chased down because someone beat up the wife. And she knows by now. So yeah. All right, let's get to the Marshal. She goes, Perlie? Really? They had to name the brother Perlie. Like, what year is this? 1872?
He was named after his great-grandfather.
Why does he have the name of a 1920s gangster? Perlie looks about 35. He was a fully formed person when the ZA started. You mean to tell me that in the late 90s, someone named their child Perlie? That is my first issue.
And you know what? I'm glad you mentioned Perlie because we didn't talk about that part of it. Where now they want to go back because they're looking for resources. Yeah. So we get there.
Yeah. That's actually, I don't know why we didn't. I don't know why. It wasn't a like, it wasn't a dislike. But, well, the dislike was the lady questioning him, like sounding all suspicious because we know Perlie's lying. But she was sounding suspicious if she thought he was lying too. At least that's how I took it.
I didn't get that.
You didn't get that?
No.
Okay. And then she goes, my next issue is that he is dressed like he just stepped off the set of Wyatt Earp. Why? What is the point? He's on the East Coast. Even if chased Negan across New Babylon, where was he that get up was a reasonable choice. I wonder how long it will take before he joins Negan and Maggie on their quest. I'm fairly certain that is where this thing is going.
Well,
possibly.
Possibly.
Season 2.
Yeah.
Possibly, because it does sound like his people want to go back. And I did think of what the Doma said, the lady said, and she was like, yo, the police, they're going to come after the natural resources and the methane.
Right.
But all I thought was, well, he just explained to you guys the methane, so why don't you just create your own methane? Like, do what he's doing. Use a walker is if you know how to make your own. Do you need the recipe? How do you know? I'm pretty sure there's some books that can tell you how to do it.
Or maybe they need him.
Yeah, but even if you didn't have the idea before, it's like, oh, okay, I didn't have the idea, but now that you gave me the idea, I can figure out how to do it on my own.
And maybe it's harder to make in certain areas. In New York, they have the sewers that run under the city. So it may be a lot easier to have. I don't know.
I'm going to assume every city has a sewer that runs under the city.
But I'm pretty sure every city will have like the New York sewers.
I don't know. I was just about to.
Well, and I'm saying that because I mean they look like they're in a small town. They don't look like they're in a big city.
Well, they're in New Jersey, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. You never been to New Jersey?
No.
Okay, that's what No, they're not in a big city.
Okay. I don't know. I just feel like why even go and like start some shit there? Like just go and now now he gave you guys the idea. Just start your own.
Yeah, but I don't think that they have the resources for those resources. Okay. Because it looked like the part of New Jersey they're in. I mean, it's a small town. It looked like, they could be a horseback or whatever.
It once again brings the question like, this is a zombie apocalypse. You can live anywhere. Go live somewhere else if it doesn't have the resources that you need.
But it's not that easy because there's people that already took over certain places. I think it's harder now to find somewhere to live in a zombie apocalypse than it is in real life right now, because you go in the wrong area, you're bound to get killed. That's how it is now, but it's more likely in a zombie apocalypse because no one trusts anybody.
Yeah, they won't even give you a chance to say anything. Okay. All right, she has some randomness that we will go through quickly. 1. How far is the reach of New Babylon's law enforcement? Where the hell is New Babylon? What is it like? What communities are part of it? Where are the rest of our people? Does Maggie still see them?
And we already discussed that New Babylon is New York and New Jersey, but it looks like their headquarters is in New Jersey.
Yes, I believe so. What communities are part of it? I don't know if communities, like, it doesn't seem like it's something that you choose to be a part of. It's just that now that it's created, you're part of it.
You're part of it, yeah.
And then where the rest of our people, I don't know. I would have loved to see like just somebody, just a familiar face, Jerry or somebody, even at the bricks.
I'm personally grateful or thankful, but I personally feel like this is what they told us we were gonna get. This is what they said we were gonna get Negan and Maggie. Now, if we were to see more faces of the rest of our people, they might as well have kept The Walking Dead going.
That's true. Well, thinking and seeing her show, I was like, okay. So Judith must be a late teenager, like a, older teen at this point. Yeah. I wonder if we'll see like an older Judith eventually.
I think eventually all of these shows, what's up? Fear is this is the last
Fear
season,
is
right?
Completely separate.
But no, I'm saying this is their last season.
Yeah, this is their last season.
Well, they're not completely separate because they got Morgan.
Yeah.
And they got someone else.
And they got Dwight.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is their last season.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure the rest of these shows is going to intertwine somehow, some way.
Yeah.
So we're going to see maybe the King again.
Yeah, hopefully. Even Carol. Be nice to see her.
Yeah, it would be nice to see Carol. But Carol's supposed to do the Daryl show.
Oh, yeah. And she's like, nah, she need a break.
Nah. I ain't going overseas.
Yeah. She's like, my money's straight. I don't even need this right now. What's the girl from City Girls, that clip that she goes? She says, I ain't got no kids, so I don't got to work as hard. Do you know that clip?
No, I haven't heard that.
Man, they play that clip and they've done really good. It's too funny. If you know it, then you'll know what I'm talking about. All right. Number 2. She goes, I really think the kid, Jenny, will show up again. Oh, you was right. I have a feeling she is sneaky and actually. Do you guys get any vibes from her?
No.
No. Now that we've seen Jenny,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But yes, she did follow him, so you were correct. 3. Didn't they rebuild Hilltop at the end of the main show? I've only seen the episode once, and I admit I was too emotional to remember everything, but I could have sworn that Hilltop was rebuilt. If that is the case, Gary, when you used to bring up Hilltop, Gary got some opinions on that. If that's the case, why would Maggie have to abandon it? It'd been fixed since Negan helped burn it down, and since Lance and Daryl's crazy ex destroyed it, right?
Chantel, you must not have been listening to me the last season. And I was saying this on every single podcast. There was no Hilltop. After they burned the Hilltop, even before they burned the Hilltop down, they were already saying that they could no longer grow on that land. So I don't even know why Maggie tried to rebuild it. But to answer your question, the last episode of the season, Maggie was told people. She said, "Hey, I want y'all to go ahead and go to Alexandria or go wherever." She got rid of the people. She wanted to be there by herself.
Yeah.
So we already knew that was the end of it. I mean, I knew it was the end of it before that. Because if you can't grow in the land and when everything is burned down, you know, just let it go.
Yeah. All right, she gets 3 more. 4, I think Negan's quip about Maggie and to Maggie about the number of husbands and fathers she killed got to her. I think it is the reason why she let Perlie, I hate that name, live.
It could be a reason, but I don't think Maggie came there for that. Or Maggie didn't want to be on that list.
Yeah, she probably didn't want to like have another enemy. She's like, I don't even want that smoke. Because if she killed him, who knows if now they would be hunting her down.
Yeah, she had one mission and one mission only. And seeing where the season went to, I understand why she had an attitude with him the whole time, because she had to keep reminding herself, like, I hate this man.
Mm-hmm. 5, I didn't love the scene with the bodies falling from the sky. Even though they were walkers, it was very unsettling. It gave me 9/11 vibes, Manhattan destroyed, bodies hitting the ground, that sound of them hitting the ground, my God.
Yeah, I didn't care too much for that scene.
Yeah, I actually like the scene, but seeing her, like, hearing her say, like, saying it remind her 9/11, I definitely can see why that would be triggering or why you wouldn't want to see something like that.
Well, I couldn't understand why they were still on the rooftop.
Yeah, why were they just now falling?
I mean, we see that they drive around with the horns and everything to gather up the zombies.
Right, 20 years now, they should not, yeah, you're right.
We see the cars going through with everything happening down there. They shouldn't have been up there to fall.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. All right, and 6, the Croat has Pope vibes, one of the final season's bad guys. Pope had the potential to be terrifying, but fell flat in my opinion. Ended up being a mentally ill religious zealot. Croat better get some depth really quickly or get what is coming to him fairly soon, because I can see how he could become less of a formidable villain and more of an annoyance. And I would say that's kind of where he was at the end of this season.
Yeah, I don't understand him. I don't understand with the skills he has. Why did he need Negan? Because he kept saying, "Hey, you taught me everything." And he even went over what he taught him.
Yes.
So you telling me you couldn't put on the Negan jacket?
Yeah. No, I get it.
But I don't think he wanted to play the lead.
Okay. Well, he was the lead up until like the 5th episode. That's when we were introduced to the lady.
Well, we thought he was the lead.
Yeah. All right. Then I'm going to mention a note that Alma had written in on Facebook. She said, "It's been good listening to y'all's podcast. You really cracked me up with the dislikes. But I was totally dying this episode, especially when you were talking about Luther and Jermaine, or Jerome. I might be wrong. I totally agree about Negan getting the jump on big ass Luther, and how the F did he hide the body with no one catching him in the act? Suspension of disbelief, I guess. Well, gotta catch the next episode."
But that's something they have to explain to us. We have to know how he hid that body.
Yes. Like how?
How long did it take him to do it? How long did it take him to clean? I mean, this guy was stuck to a little gas pipe on the ground.
Yeah. And I'm surprised you're saying that, because you thought I was tripping when I said, hey, how did he hide that body?
Yeah. No, I thought you were tripping when you said, how did he kill him? Yeah,
okay.
Like, it looked like he killed him on accident.
Yeah, it was an accidental, like, oh shit, I killed him? I got lucky.
Right.
Okay, then Alma has...
But I probably did say something, like maybe get hit in the refrigerator, the freezer, something.
Yeah, we were like, they aren't doing forensic tests. I'm like, It's not about the forensic, it's about literally about the blood stain.
If he cleaned it up, yeah, it's not like they're going to go in there and know there was a blood
But now they have
there.
like good cleaning supplies just sitting around as well.
Yeah.
That can clean up blood.
You're right.
All right, Alma has another note, and this is, I believe, from last week's episode, and she goes, she thought it was the best episode so far, and she said, "I was first thrown back by the setup reveal about Tomas. For some reason, I didn't see that twist. Then that nasty mini-headed walker was freaking scary and an awesome concept for a new walker.
It was.
But the best reveal was freaking Maggie. No wonder she'd been acting a bit sus. I knew she was up to something. She's keeping us in the loop."
Oh, yeah. Maggie was acting very strange. And that's what I was just saying, that, we were like, why is Maggie still acting like this? But now we know. Maggie Maggie was just setting them up.
Yeah.
Maggie had plans of her own. So she had to keep face. You know when you're doing something wrong, so you start treating the person with you like they're doing something wrong. You start treating them a certain type of way because you're an asshole. Mm-hmm. That's what Maggie did. Maggie was an asshole, so she started treating Negan
like the asshole,
like the asshole.
Yeah. Oh, she has a little bit more. I just expanded the message. She says, she's keep looking past stuff, trying to convince herself that Negan deserves being served up in exchange for Herschel. Perhaps he does, but I think she would have came to him with the truth. He would have gladly volunteered himself in helping her.
Right.
Negan has had a lot of time to regret things in his past, and he would have felt like he needed to help Maggie get her son because it's the least he could do, but also because Herschel is a kid. We all know how Negan has a soft spot for kids.
Yeah.
And Negan likes Herschel. Remember in the last season of The Walking Dead, like they got separated and Negan had to help Herschel. Remember little kid Herschel even pulled the gun out on Negan.
Yeah.
But didn't pull the trigger. But I think this Herschel right now will pull the trigger.
Maybe. Or this Herschel right now will probably join him. Like Carl almost.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, Negan has a way with kids. And that's probably because he was a gym coach.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he knows what they like. He knows how to talk to them and everything like that.
It seems like all kids in the zombie apocalypse end up liking Negan.
Yeah. You're right. All right, then Lauren also wrote on Facebook and she said, please forgive my ignorance, but why did Maggie lie? The Croat kidnapped Herschel for real, so why this story about the stolen grain?
And yeah, that's what I discussed earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it was just because, like I mentioned, that she knew Negan. She was familiar with his antics. So it was just the best way. Tell him this because she know that Negan, okay, yeah, this sounds believable because this is something I would have did.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to write in this season.
Yeah,
it's always fun hearing more people's opinions because then you're like, I didn't see it that way or whatever. So thank you. All right. Now for I Ain't Fearing Shit, Most Likely to Die. Gary, who you got for I Ain't Fearing Shit?
I would have to give it to Negan. When Negan found out that she was serving his head up on a platter, I mean, he looked sad or whatever, but I mean, he went along with it. Yeah,
he took it like a G. He didn't scream. Even though I kind of want a little bit more of that, like in the shows, and I understand it's hard to understand what people are saying when both people are talking at the same time. But this patiently waiting for one person to say their lines, then they say their lines. Like no one ever interrupts each other, and I'm like, come on, like make it a little bit more passion, at least start the arguing where they're both talking over one another and then finally someone goes, fine, you talk or whatever, but there's never ever any talking over one another or no one ever messes up on their words or anything. It's just perfectly said every time.
Right. Not realistic.
Yeah. I mean, I stumble over my words 10 times every time I'm talking. So, I mean, not saying it happens to everyone, but still.
But one thing, if I was Negan and Maggie got to drop on me, and this is why I say he was a fearing shit, because he was right there near the water. He could have ran and jumped in the water. Mm-hmm. He could have pushed Maggie down again. He didn't have to stand there and let Maggie take him.
Yeah.
Because he was unsure what was going to happen.
I agree.
He thought maybe I could be tortured.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's what else would you think was going to happen? I would assume that if the person whose ear I shot off now was trying to get me and I find out this was all a big plan for them to get me back here, I'm going to think they're going to want to torture me.
Yeah, I'm thinking the worst.
Yeah. I'll agree with you. Negan, not fearing shit. I agree.
Right. And I guess we got to find out next season.
For Most Likely to Die, I'm going to throw a character out there. I'm going to go ahead and throw Perlie out. I feel like he's going to get caught up. That lie of him saying that he killed Negan is definitely going to come back to haunt him now that they're going to go back out. Now that he knows that his people want to go back out there.
Yeah. I don't see that happening. I see Perlie being a part of our main cast, probably part of the Negan Maggie family. I can't say who's going to die. I can't. It's
okay. Yeah. Maybe Maggie. I mean.
Yeah, I doubt it.
By the hands of Herschel.
Because they sold the show on Negan and Maggie.
Yeah, it'd just be a dark turn if Herschel's the one that does it. All right. Well, that's all we got. Thank you so much for listening this season. Nice, quick season. I
Yep.
think I like it better with like a short season. Maybe even next season, maybe 10 episodes or something. I like the short season. Like, let's just get it done quickly. So
Yeah, it depends on how the writing is going.
yeah.
Because if the writing is good, all the way through, yeah, you keep it going.
Yeah, that's true. And they can work on these this show again a little bit more, because even if we compare these 6 episodes to the first season of The Walking Dead 6 episodes, and of course that had the comic books that they can pull from and everything like that, The Walking Dead season 1 was much stronger than this season 1.
Because it was new.
Yeah, well, even Fear season 1 was much stronger, and The World Beyond season 1 was much stronger than this
because
one.
they were all new at the time.
Okay.
When The Walking Dead, remember when Fear came out, we were like, whoa, this is better than The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Because, they had, what's that, killer?
Well, this is new.
Yeah. But no. I mean, we've seen the zombies. We've seen this.
Okay.
Like,
you mean these are new? Those other shows were like brand new people and everything like that.
No. What I mean by it was new is this was a new concept. The concept was just new. So we were in love with the concept. But remember, as The Walking Dead went on, we were no longer scared of the zombies. It was about the people.
Yeah. That's true.
So, I mean, it just lost that appeal.
Yeah. Although that 4 Walker thing that Alma just even brought up, like, yeah. Like, I want to see some we've seen crazy walkers, but I don't think we ever seen anything like that. That was creepy and scary, especially because it's like crawling and scary.
Yeah.
So. All right. Thank you so much. Until whenever. I'm Nicole.
I'm Gary.
Bye.